What is up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of the Ear Hustling Podcast. I want to apologize ahead of time. As you do not hear any sort of energy whatsoever. Eric, before I come to you, I got something I got to say. I am highly pissed off. I'm highly pissed off like many of you out there should be as well. I promise you this is going to be a fun podcast. Fun edition, but we got some business to talk about first. If you have not heard already, a man named George Floyd lost his life yesterday in Minneapolis, Minnesota at the hands of 4 white police officers. When is enough enough? If you have not seen this video, please find it on our page. It is on our page. When you click on the link, there's going to be 2 videos. One is of the police chief speaking, but below that is the actual video of George Floyd and how he lost his life. Let me prepare you. The video is graphic. This man loses his life on camera. All right. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Now, many people are going to say, what did he do? Does it matter? Eric, I'm going to bring you in for a quick second here. I don't know if you've had time. I did not. Do you know if Minnesota has the death penalty?
You know what? I'm going to go look that up now.
All right. Take a look at that.
But as I'm typing that up, did you know that large crowds gathered today over in Minnesota to protest what happened to Mr. Floyd, and the police dispersed the crowd using tear gas? So I don't know if you were aware of that or not.
Wow.
That's what happened.
You know, that's adding fuel to the fire, if you ask me. But you know, what's crazy is, of course, some people will also say, well, those 4 people lost their jobs. I ask, should we celebrate in that? You know, I am so sick and tired of hearing about young Black men and women lose their life at the hands of the people who are supposed to protect our lives. For so many years, not that long ago, by the way, so many years have gone on where we have been treated like animals, less than. People are so quick to rescue dogs and rightfully so, and care for wild animals, rightfully so, but look down on other human beings that bleed like them. When is enough enough? What's funny to me, and you may or may not have heard this, those 4 people lost their jobs. Once again, rightfully so. I can't applaud the decision because they did what was right. So I can't applaud the decision to fire them. I am going to say I'm surprised that it happened so quickly. And it's bad. We've come to a point where we are not used to, seeing quick action. So thanks for getting that information. There's no death penalty in Minnesota, but whatever crime this person committed, if he committed a crime, he was sentenced to death as soon as those officers came in contact with him. You know, a good friend of the show posted something on Facebook today. I'm not sure if he posted this in response to what's going on in Minnesota, but it sure in the hell applies right now. It's the quote says, "Justice will not be served until those who are unaffected are as outraged as those who are." Benjamin Franklin. The person shared that is Adam Bresler. He's been on the show, great friend of the show, and this quote could not be more accurate. You know, I don't know what it's going to take for people to understand that Black lives matter, brown lives matter. Yes, to other people that have listened to the show, they say all lives matter. This is also true. But I do not remember the last time I seen a young white boy killed at the hands of the police. Hell, I remember seeing a white mass shooter be escorted in handcuffs peacefully. But we are so quick to die at the hands of the police. I am sick and tired of it. I could get probably in trouble for what I'm going to say, but what I'm going to say is factual, and that's this. If there's no justice, there should not be any peace. This is just another person that is now going to put on a t-shirt. That is fucked up. I'm tired of seeing our people added to t-shirts. I'm tired of seeing our people be told we're praying for you, we're praying for the families, just like we hear about when in mass shootings. We're praying for the survivors. It's enough is enough. I am not a leader in the Black community. I'm not. Maybe one day I will be. I'm not today. This podcast may give me a platform where I may be able to touch someone's life and someone's ears. Today, I'm not that person. I have no problem being that person. But I am pleading to the Black leaders out there, the Al Sharptons, the Jesse Jacksons, all Black leaders, anyone that considers themselves a Black leader, I am begging you to put plans in motion to let our voices be heard. This has to stop. This is a travesty. There's no fucking reason in 2020 that we're still dying like this, being legally lynched. That's exactly what's happening. And Eric, I saw the post you put on our Facebook page where Ben Crump said it's open killing season on blocks. That's exactly what it is. And it just didn't start today. It didn't just start yesterday. Why is George Zimmerman still walking the face of this earth? Why? Please, someone answer that question. Now, of course, someone may say, so you're going to fight violence with violence? I say, why not? I say, why not? We can definitely try it the peaceful way first. But if that doesn't work, if we have to take matters in our own hands, then it is what it is. I am sick and tired of it. I was really looking forward to this podcast tonight. Our subject is really awesome, but definitely want to start out with this. Just a couple other things I want to talk about before we get into the meat and potatoes. But Eric, I want to give you an opportunity to share anything that you may have as well.
Yeah, I had a chance to see that video, and I'm very much in agreement of you. Maybe my perspective and your perspective, maybe it's one-sided, but I think in this case it should be. You said a lot of things that were very important. When was the last time you had a Black police officer had his neck on a white person and the same results happened? If you look at the video, there's audio, people pleading, hey, you got your knee, on that man's neck. Hey, that's a human being. Hey, he stopped moving. You should take your knee off. Hey, he's not breathing. And you can just see as during the course of the video where this person's color just changes. It just changes. You literally watch this person die on camera. He turned blue. When the paramedics get there, he still has his knee on him. They go check his pulse and go back to get a gurney. He still has his knee on him. I think he had the officer had alluded to something about one of the people in the video asked, well, why can't you just put him in a car? Well, we tried that 10 minutes ago. Now, I couldn't see, but I'm just going to make an assumption that this gentleman was handcuffed. He was. Yeah, he was halfway up under the car, and there were multiple officers that were there. So this isn't a situation where at that particular point that he couldn't take his knee off of that person's neck. So he had backup. They had a means to restrain him, which he was already restrained, and they could have detained him inside of the car. So it wasn't necessary for him to keep his knee on that person's neck. I can't breathe. The person is over there. He's pleading for his life. He's not resisting arrest. At this point, he was already detained. So whether he was resisting or not at that point was irrelevant. It's not like that there was a struggle that he was trying to continue to resist. He couldn't go anywhere. So why take that man's life? You're sitting around there and you're trying to prove a point that you're, to actually use this officer's word. So, you're a tough guy now. So this officer, with a gun, mace, a taser gun, backup, you've got all of these resources, at your disposal, but you chose to choke a person's life out. So yeah, he got fired, but you know what? He's going to wake up tomorrow though. That person who he killed isn't.
He had dinner with his family last night, for crying out loud.
Yeah, he absolutely did. He probably enjoyed his shift. it's a shame.
I was talking to
It's a
someone and they said, and I can relate to this. Do you feel anything, Eric, when you kill a bug?
You know what? I'll be honest with you, not really. I try to avoid
Exactly.
killing them, but if they're trying to like sting me or something like that, then I usually try to like grab the bugs and just kind of let them go about their way. But you know,
I'm gonna
not
be
really.
honest. You're a better person than me. I see a bug, I'm stepping on that son of a bitch. I'm killing it. But the problem is that's the way they treat us. They treat us like bugs. They treat us like scum. You know, when I look at that man, I don't know how old he was. I have no clue. That information hasn't come out yet. George Floyd, at least I haven't seen it. But that could have been our uncle. He was an older person. He wasn't young. At least he looked older to me. He could have been our uncle. I look at him and I see my uncle. I look at him and I see a cousin. I see someone's brother, someone's son, somebody. But they look at us as bugs. We've never meant anything to a lot of white people. Let's just call it what it is. As we've talked about in a previous episode, in a previous life, all white people don't think the same. All black people don't think the same. All people don't think the same. And I get that. There's definitely some good people out there, good, wholehearted people who love people. You got blood running through your veins, and I love you. And that's awesome. But you got people, ever since we was brought over into this country, we've been ripped away from our family. Our women have been raped. Our children have been sold away. We've been treated like property, like scum. And it still is happening today. It's just dressed up a little bit differently. People, especially wearing that badge, wearing that gun, they think they have so much power, because they do. They've been given that power, that they can treat us any way they want. And I should still say enough is enough. I'm sorry. I know I said I was done, but this is a heavy topic for me. I can't stand it. And let me add, last thing for me, I promise, Eric, as you know, and our listeners do not, I used to be a volunteer police officer in Detroit, Michigan. And during my time that I was going through the academy, we were taught two things that always stuck out in my mind that did not sit very well with me, but it is what it is. And that is, one, you shoot to kill because a dead person can't sue you. And two, your job is to go home at night. So I get that last one. I get my job, or a police officer's job, is to go home at night. They deserve to be at home with their families just like anyone else, but not at the cost of taking or playing God. And just like you said, that video is about 10 minutes long. And for the entire time of that video, that man's knee was on that man's neck. Enough is enough. I can't wait till he go to jail. I hope he does. And I hope the fattest person in jail, the most muscular person in jail, first of all, rip his butthole wide the hell open and put his knee on his neck. And just before he taps out, just before he takes his last breath, I hope he take his knee off and do it all over again. Whatever this man gets is not going to be enough, in my opinion. I'm truly done on that conversation, but there's definitely more we got to talk about. But you have anything else to add, Eric?
Yes. One of the things that I noticed about that person, that officer wasn't the smallest guy in the world. It takes roughly, if you're choking somebody with your hands, I think it takes roughly like 3 minutes of continuous pressure in order to choke somebody out to the point that they're unconscious. And I think it may take, depending on how much force, it may take up to 5 minutes to actually choke a person to death. So like you alluded to, that was a 10-minute video. The entire time that video, and who knows how long that man's knee was on George Floyd before that person started filming. So we really don't know. We only know that he was on there for 10 minutes. We don't know how long he was choking that man out. We don't know. And I'm pretty sure that person doesn't look like that they're a rookie. So I'm pretty sure that person is a police veteran. Pretty sure that there are certain things that they teach you in order to keep yourself safe. Now, I'm all for the police being safe. I know they have a dangerous job. I've done some ride-alongs with the police department too. So I know that officers are constantly in danger, and you never know when somebody is going to try to harm you. So in terms of being able to restrain somebody, and sometimes you do have to get extremely physical, I understand that. That was excessive force. Now, I don't know if that's a practice. It seems like that policing takes two different sort of methods: what happens in the suburbs and what happens in the city. And to me, you know what, justice is supposed to be blind. Isn't it supposed to be like a blindfold, over justice? But yet I know sometimes we'll see like those little things where it has like the one eye that's like peeping over the blindfold. That's us.
Yep.
That's us. Like a former, what am I trying to say? We had an individual we used to do a podcast with, and we were having a conversation about when the police stops, say me, versus when they stop a white person. We have to throw our hands outside the window just to show them that we're not a danger.
Yep.
But yet in the state of Michigan, and I hate to keep alluding back to this, we had folks a couple of weeks ago that was marching in front of the Capitol building with rifles. What do those people look like? There wasn't a black person amongst them.
Because how many of them died?
0. Officers didn't draw their weapons. Now they're marching and protesting the governor of Michigan, the chief executive officer of the state, the person who makes the decisions. Nothing happened.
And please share, why were they protesting? What was it that they wanted that they couldn't have?
All sorts of just like idiotic things. First, hey, she just wants us to like wear a mask, and she's not just going to completely open up the state at one time like other states have been done. They were protesting because they felt that it was a violation of their rights. So they decided to exercise their Second Amendment rights in terms of the rights to bear arms. Look, you know what? I love America, home of the free and all of that other stuff. But me, you, and a couple of hundred black folks can't march up to Lansing with like rifles on our hips, with rifles over our shoulders and guns on our hips. We can't do that.
Nope.
And not expect to go home.
Nope. Plus, if we do, then guess what? We're thugs. We're menace to society. We're so many names. If we do it. It's terrible, man. This world we live in, it's a horrible place. It really is. People say if you don't like it, leave it. If it was that easy, I swear I would definitely be on the first boat somewhere.
Everybody's so quick to say go back to Africa. For those folks that do say that, first of all, I really don't know too many people that are actually from Africa. For starters, we're like 400 years past that. Once you drug us here, against our will in terms of my ancestors, yeah, that whole concept about going back to wherever, no, this is much my land as it is yours. Yep. Like a friend of the show a friend that we had on the show was saying that, hey, you want to know it? If this land belongs to the government, this land belongs to us.
Yep. Exactly.
And it does. I pay my taxes just like you do.
Yep.
I got the right to do whatever it is and should be comfortable in my country. Yep. And to kind of borrow a phrase from Ice Cube, and I'm going to paraphrase this. He said in one of his songs, he said, if you want to free Africa, I have to stare at you because we ain't got it too good in America. It ain't even got anything to do with going like back to Africa. It's like you want to help other countries, but it ain't too good over here.
Yep.
Whether it's the president, police officers, whoever. I mean, we've got some wonderful people, but you got a small percentage of the people that just screw it up for everybody.
Yep.
And I'm done talking about this for the time being.
Yep.
Same here. On to some other topics.
Well, before we do, I gotta break some other news that have recently come out. I'm happy, but I'm not. William Bryan Jr., the person, the scum of the earth that was filming Ahmaud Arbery's murder, has finally been arrested here in Georgia. So finally,
how long has it been?
February 23rd is when the murder took place. So the father and son, they were arrested a little over a week ago. About maybe a little off on the days, but the person that was actually doing the filming, he finally was just arrested. So that finally came through. And what's happening right now in that case, and I'm happy to hear this, the U.S. attorney is actually getting involved and trying to find out why it took so long. So, of course, once again, there's probably going to be some cover up, and some justification going to be COVID-19, all that good stuff, whatever. But at least there's going to be an investigation. And then one of two things is going to happen. And I hate to say it, but it's true. Either one is going to be cover up, which most people are expecting, or two, maybe a little justice. Stay tuned. We'll find out. But the last thing before we move on to our topic, but before I do that, you want to say something? I'm sorry, Eric.
Yep, Georgia does have the death penalty, and
he ain't gonna get it. None of them.
Well, the last execution that took place in Georgia was back in 1976. And yeah. I'm not even going to give you a. Actually, let's see. You know what? I don't know this for sure, but let's see. The last person who was executed, was he black?
I think there's been executions since 1976. I believe, and I could be wrong. Yeah, I could be so wrong on this, but I believe the guy who went into the courthouse in Atlanta and shot and killed some people, I think he was put to death. I could be wrong on that, but fact check that.
I think that was by the federal government, though. I don't think that was instituted by Georgia. So I think that you are right, but I think it was a federal execution out of state. Because of the location, it fell up under federal jurisdiction.
Gotcha. Okay. While you're looking that up, let me do the third piece of information before we go into our fun part of the show, which I'm really looking forward to. Heart is heavy on what we talked about, but definitely going to try to pick it up from here. The third and final piece. Kwame Kilpatrick is coming home June 10th. Now, was he wrong for what he did? Yes. Did the crime fit the punishment fit the crime? By no means. That man was sentenced to 28 years in jail, in federal penitentiary. 28 years. So he's done 7. He's coming home. So got mixed feelings out there by Detroiters, I know. But I'm happy to hear that Kwame is coming out. So June 10th, I'll definitely be looking forward to that. And who knows? Maybe we might can get Kwame on the show.
Maybe. And for those who don't know who Kwame Kilpatrick is, if you're outside of the Detroit area, he was the mayor of Detroit that did, just to be honest with you, a lot of things that were just not right in terms of embezzlement, giving people contracts they wasn't actually performing the work. I've got my own theory on why Kwame Kilpatrick has such a harsh term, but he was an embattled mayor, but the man was very charismatic. A lot of people didn't expect him, honestly, to stay mayor long because of how charismatic. And to be honest with you, he was qualified. He comes from a political family. His dad was a county executive. His mom served over 20 years in U.S. Congress. He was the youngest state senator. He wound up being the majority leader. The man accomplished a lot in a short time. And he was a lawyer. He was in tune with the people, specifically with folks in his age range. So he understood. So he had a lot of potential to be great. Now, at this point, who knows? He may have been governor by now. He may have had a cabinet post, within the presidency. Who knows?
Sky was the limit for that man.
It definitely was.
Definitely was. Now, people may say, well, why are you cheering on his release? And honestly, once again, it's just I'm tired of seeing so much injustice. How many people have you seen, not my president, get out of jail, get offered clemency for? How many people have you seen in his cabinet kind of just get their hands smacked, for a lot of wrongdoing? Did Kwame do wrong? Yes. Should he have gone to jail? Yes. His crimes were mainly victimless crimes, and 28 years does not scream victimless crimes. It definitely screams, how many people did you kill? That's what it screams. So did you find that information on the death penalty?
Yes, and I'm going to go ahead and make a correction. So for one, when I alluded to 1976, there's been 73 people. Yeah, there's 73 people that have been killed in the state of Georgia with the death penalty. Most recent in January of this year, and it was a Caucasian gentleman. I'm just really interested just to kind of find out the history of the racists who were actually executed. The one thing that I did find is that it was 99% men, and there was, I think, like a woman that received the death penalty since 1976.
Tell you what, let's look up that information and let's add it to the Facebook page so we're talking about it. But let's get on something fun. All right, let's do this. So today, we were not planning on doing this podcast live. We were not planning on doing this as a podcast, ladies and gentlemen. We were planning on doing this amongst ourselves and then just posting the results. This coming Thursday, before I jump into what we're doing, it kind of ties in. This coming Thursday, tune in live in color once again. Eric and James will be on the Ear Hustling podcast, and we will be putting our general manager's hats on. We're going to do exactly what we're doing today, but today we're going to do it just with the Detroit Pistons. We're going to draft a team of Detroit Piston players and coaches, and we want you to let us know who has the better team. The Detroit Pistons are currently just was tweeted today that the Detroit Pistons are looking for the next general manager. So, Eric, this might be our audition, sir. This just might be our audition. So we're going to do that today with the Pistons. Thursday, we're going to do this with the NBA. So all-time NBA players, they're open to draft and go from there. Eric, we did not talk about this. I suggest whoever gets first pick this for tonight, let the other person have first pick automatically for Thursday. What do you say?
You know what? We'll just let the coin decide our fate.
The coin. We want to go to the coin. Sounds good.
Yeah, we'll let the coin decide our fate.
The coin, ladies and gentlemen, is right here. So it's an app. It's a handy-dandy app. So, Eric, since I have the coin, I'll let you call it. Go ahead and call it, sir.
Tails.
All right. It's up, and it is tails. And we said that is tails. Yep. We said the best of three. So if you get this one right, you get first pick. If you get it wrong, we'll go to tiebreaker. Oh, you didn't call it. We got.
I'm sorry. I thought we were sticking. Okay, flip it again.
So call what you calling?
Let's go tails again.
Tails again. It's a heads. We forced game 3.
I said head. No.
Right. It's being recorded. Damn it. All right. What you got, Pittsburgh Steelers?
No problem. Oh, you remember that. We're gonna go tails. We're gonna go tails 3 times in a row.
Tails. All right. Coins up. It is a heads. I get first pick. All right. So what we're going to do, once again, ladies and gentlemen, keep a track at home. And Eric, would it be too much for you to keep track of our teams? Can you jot it down anywhere?
Sure.
All right, cool. You're keeping track. Hopefully you're a good record keeper. All right.
We'll find out, won't we?
We will find out. So what we're going to do is we're going to start out by picking our coaches. We're going to pick 2 coaches. One is our head coach, and the other is going to be the assistant coach, which also can be a former head coach of the Detroit Pistons. That's totally up to us. So James Montgomery, general manager of the Detroit Pistons, Team A. My head coach will be, you know who it is. It's got to be. It only could be one person. Chuck Daly. Come on down, sir.
Of course. Of course, Daddy Rich. That's fine. That's a good pick. Obviously Hall of Fame coach. I got to go with the other Piston coach that won a championship, and it's got to be Larry Brown.
It's got to be. He definitely was my 1B pick. I had 1A and 1B. So Chuck Daly's assistant head coach. This is a tough one. I got 3 names on my wish list. And I knew I was going to get 2 of them, so I just didn't know who I was going to get. So this is really tough. But you know what? I'm going to go with the guy. No other coach won a championship with the Pistons. But I'm going to go with a guy who was this close. This close. Got to bring in Rick Carlisle.
Rick Carlisle. I'm going to go with Doug Collins.
Ooh, Doug Collins. All right.
Forgot about Doug, didn't you?
No, I didn't, but Doug's a very good pick. So,
yeah.
All right, now it's time to get to the players. So who do you build the franchise around? I'm Team A, whatever I'm calling myself, Detroit Pistons Team A. I got to build the team around Mr. Mr. Piston himself, Isaiah Thomas.
All right, so you're gonna go with Zeke, huh?
Of course. And real quick, let me buy you some time here. I want to explain to the people. We are picking players. Any player that has ever worn Detroit Piston uniform, we're picking them. Now, if we pick a player that, let's say, we won't give any examples, but let's say we pick a player who was great somewhere, but it wasn't with the Pistons. Maybe it was before the time, after the time, whatever. We're not necessarily going to talk about his Piston playing days. We're looking at the prime of his career. So let's say like Isaiah Thomas. Let's hypothetically say he didn't play with the Pistons his first 3 years in the league. He played somewhere else. We're looking at his whole entire body of work, not just his time in that Detroit Piston color. So hopefully that makes sense. So that's it. So Eric, Team B, who you got your first player on your team that's gonna lose to mine?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it was really tough because obviously Zeke is Mr. Piston. But man, I'm sitting around there and I'm thinking, gotta have a leader, gotta have somebody who ain't scared. Gotta go get Chauncey, man. Gotta get Chauncey.
I knew it. I actually went ahead, and I'm actually gonna keep track too. I had found an easy way to do this. I actually went ahead and grabbed his name and slid it over into your column. So I'm not surprised over that.
Oh, okay.
So this next pick is actually probably going to surprise some people. But I have to go this direction because of everything that I just got through saying. I got Isaiah in the backcourt.
Dennis Fimbo? You going to get Dennis Fimbo?
No, he's why are you telling on me, man? He's my 6th round pick. He's my 6th man. I got to go with a guy who his career with the Pistons was less than stellar. No doubt about it. But his overall career was something else. I got Isaiah in the backcourt. He's running point. He's going to distribute. He's going to score. He's going to do whatever it is needed. He need a partner. He had Joe Dumars back in the day, right? The bad boys. We're putting a bad boy in his own right. He wasn't a Detroit Piston bad boy, but this man was a bad boy in his own right. And the people he hung with, they were definitely bad boys too. The man from the city of brotherly love, Allen Iverson.
Oh, Lord, have mercy. You know what? You got a hell of a backcourt, and AI does play it too.
Exactly. So who's running with Chauncey on his team?
Man, you know what? I was stuck. Gotta go with Grant Hill, man. Gotta go with Grant Hill.
Grant Hill. All right, Grant Hill.
Grant Hill was a bad boy. You want to talk about a LeBron James-esque sort of game? That was Grant Hill.
Mm-hmm. This is
true. Anything he didn't have. No, he actually could hit the three when he wanted to shoot it. But Grant Hill was, I'd probably say, just as fundamentally sound as Tim Duncan when it came to every aspect of his game was solid. There wasn't really a hole in his game.
This is true. That's a very good pickup. So I'm gonna go with a guy. I got my backcourt. They're intact, right? I think I feel really good about my backcourt. I'm gonna have to go with a old school cat. He's getting tagged in here. All right, he didn't win a championship with the Pistons. He's a big man. Averaged 20 points a game, 10 rebounds, 3 assists. I got to go with Bob Lanier.
Big Dipper. All right. Bob Lanier. That's a very good pick. So you know what? I'm going to have to go big. This guy did win a championship with the Pistons. Oh, I'm sorry. You want to know who it is?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, okay. I'm going to go with Rasheed Wallace.
Rasheed. Ball don't lie.
That's right.
So you really had me nervous there. I'm not going to lie. You had me nervous because my next guy also won a championship with the Pistons. This guy, he's unmatched. He is unmatched. This guy does not get enough credit. We saw a little bit about him recently in The Last Dance. But his days with the Pistons was something special, and he loved him some Chuck Daly. Give me Dennis Rodman.
It was a toss-up between Worm and Sheed. But you know what, Sheed's overall game, I had to go. I had to go with Sheed on that one, but it was tough.
But that's a good pickup.
But I mean, hell, if you want to sit around there and have like a battle of the defensive titans, rebounding, athleticism, attitude, got to go with the other Wallace. Got to go with Ben. I mean, multiple times defensive players of the year. I mean, I think both of them won 4, didn't they?
Who is that?
Dennis Rodman and Ben Wallace. I believe both of them were 4-time defensive player of the years.
Okay. Got to look that one up. All right. So, next pick is between 2 people. And, of course, I'm not going to tell you who those 2 people are. This is very close. Very close.
Help a brother out.
No. So, I just made it easy for myself. This man, 16 points a game, 11 rebounds, just under 3 assists. Mr. Dave DeBusschere.
Dave DeBusschere. You went back to a time where you wasn't even born.
No, I wasn't.
Dave DeBusschere. Hopefully I don't misspell the man's name.
It's all good. I got your back.
All right. Appreciate it.
DeBusschere.
All right. So let me see. Just to do a quick recap on my team, I've got Chauncey, I've got Grant Hill, I've got Rasheed Wallace, I've got Ben Wallace. You know what? Underrated guy who was voted one of the top 50 players of all time. I'm going to go with the former Mayor Dave Bing.
Well, I will tell you, that is a steal because he would have definitely been my 6th man had you not picked him. So, great pick.
And he's a 2-go. Actually, he's a combo guard. A lot of people don't know that about Dave Bing, but Dave Bing was putting up buckets.
Cool beans. All right. So let's just real quick go over our starting lineup. At center for you, let's talk about you first. At center, Big Ben Wallace. At power forward, Rasheed Wallace. At the 3, Grant Hill. At the 2, Dave Bing. And at the point, Chauncey Billups. My starting 5, at the center, Bob Lanier. At the power forward, Dennis Rodman. At the 3, Dave DeBusschere. At the 2, AI. At the point, Isaiah Thomas. Pretty good starting lineup, I think we both have.
Yeah, I'd have to say that I think I got the edge in terms of the 3.
At the 3 spot?
Mm-hmm.
Dave DeBusschere, underrated. Old heads definitely gonna have to teach you young people about that man. But it's all good. And if you do have the edge there, first of all, Grant Hill's ankle. I mean, come on. But I'm not worried about that.
The first 5 years he was with the Pistons, that was not an issue.
So this is year 6. I'll tell you this. I would love to see that Dennis Rodman Rasheed Wallace matchup. Who gonna get a tech first?
Man, that'd be a brawl at the Palace if they were teammates. That'd be a brawl in practice.
Yeah. Bob Lanier, I think he's gonna take Ben Wallace to school, man. I just don't see Ben doing anything with Big Bob.
We'll see.
Well,
hey, he locked Shaq down in the finals, didn't he?
Well, it was by committee. It was Big Ben. It was Eldon Campbell, Corliss Williamson. So he had some help, Rasheed. So it just wasn't Ben. It just wasn't Ben, but, I got you.
Okay.
All right, so let's go to our bench. So we got 8 more players to choose.
Mm-hmm.
So my 6th man, I got to bring the backcourt together. Joe Dumars, come on off the bench.
I kind of figured you was going to go get Joe D.
It was kind of easy.
Hey, you know what? I guess I might as well go ahead and get Rip.
Might as well. All right. This must be rapid fire.
Must be.
I'm going with a guy. So when I was looking at Dave DeBusschere, I was debating between him and another guy that is a little how can I put this, deficient in melanin, and this guy is someone you
Darko?
would know. No, 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 no,
Darko?
no, 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 Lido. Um, this is someone that you are familiar with. I don't think you really like the guy very much. He averaged 17.2 points a game, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. Dude loved the high socks. He loved the mullet, and he had a stash that people just adored back in his day. Mr. Kelly Tripucka, come on
I
to
got,
my team.
dang it. You know what? To Kelly Tripucka's credit, those first few years that he played with Isaiah, both of them, if I'm not mistaken, were rookies on the All-Star team.
Mm-hmm.
You see, I know KT was putting up buckets, no defense whatsoever. But if you needed a shot, Kelly Tripucka can get you buckets. I'm just glad that we got rid of him. Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? I think that we need, you know what? I think we're gonna go this. We need a little I think we need a little more toughness in the interior. So that's what I'm thinking. I am thinking, yeah, I'm absolutely gonna go ahead and do this. Bill Lambier.
Not a surprise. Not a surprise. All right. So I got a guard and I got a small forward coming off my bench. I'm still gonna have to go in tradition with today's NBA, and I'm gonna have to go with some more small ball. And I'm gonna have to go with a man that is instant offense. I gotta go with Mr. 007 himself, Vinny Johnson.
Of course. It's a surprise that Vinny never won Sixth Man of the Year.
It's a big surprise.
You know what? I'm going to go. You want to talk about instant offense? Yeah, I'm going to go with a guy who played with the Pistons for 5 years, but he didn't quite become the star that he was until after he left Detroit. I'm going to go with Allen Houston.
Very good pickup. He was on my list.
Yeah, so, now he's not.
No, he's not. He is gone. So I'm going to go with a man. Once again, we're looking at not just your Piston career, even though this guy kind of has resurrected himself being with the Pistons. But when he was pre-Piston, when he was healthy, is a former league MVP. I'm going with Derrick Rose.
Oh, excellent choice. Excellent choice. So, yeah, he's in the middle of a resurgence for sure.
Yep.
All right, so I need, so I got Houston. I need another guard. I need somebody who can distribute. I need somebody who can bring some fire.
Mm-hmm. So one of two people come to my mind, but let's see who you picking.
Yeah, I need somebody who can distribute. I need somebody who's going to bring some fire. Let me think. You know what? Now that I think about it, I think that there was somebody who actually is not that bad now. Somebody who we let go and he didn't even get any go with the Pistons.
I now know who you're going to go with, but go ahead and say his name.
I think it's Chris Middleton.
Oh, that's not who I was thinking. That's a very good pickup.
So I was thinking about him, and I'm thinking you probably will wind up. Yeah, but I'm going to go ahead and go with Chris Middleton. So do you remember when the Pistons drafted him? He sat on a bench for like 2 or 3 years?
Yep, I do. I certainly do. All right, so quick recap of the bench players. You got Rip, Bill Lambier, Allen Houston, Chris Middleton. I got Joe Dumars, Kelly Tripucka, Vinny Johnson, Derrick Rose. We both are very guard heavy. So time for me to go on with a big man. I'm gonna go with a walking double-double on a any given night, 2020 easily for this man. We just got rid of him for a bag of potato chips, Andre Drummond.
Yeah, have to. So you look at the history of the Pistons, we actually got a pretty good history of big men.
That's kind of surprising because when I think of the Pistons, I really think of our guards first. I really do think of Isaiah's, the Joe Dumars, the Chauncey's, the Rips. I mean, very close behind, I think of Dennis Rodman, Rasheed Wallace, Ben Wallace. But the guards do come to my mind first.
Let me see. I think we need somebody, if we want to go with a small lineup, somebody who's got some beef and some athleticism. Actually, there's a couple of different ways that we can go with this. I'm kind of stuck, but you know what? The guy was like nearly 7 feet tall. But no, I don't think we're going to go that direction. I think that we're going to go with somebody who only had a cup of coffee with the Pistons, but his overall career was awesome. I'm going to roll with Tracy McGrady.
Very good pickup. All right. I'm glad you went that direction because, see, when I put my list together, I had a list of we're thinking about this. We're picking 26 players. I made a list of 31 players that I was interested in. I gave myself a 5-person cushion. I then went through my list and I highlighted players that I absolutely wanted. It's like, no doubt about it, these are players that I want. And I'm very surprised to say that after 10 picks, my 11th pick, this guy is still here. I'm very surprised. But I have to pick up Mr. Jerry Stackhouse.
Oh, damn, I forgot about Jerry Stackhouse.
See, you got to do your homework, sir. You got to do your homework.
I did do my homework. You know, there's just so many Pistons.
Yeah.
And see, when you think about it, we really have had, a lot of great players.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I think I'd rather have Tracy McGrady though.
You're biased.
Yeah, I am, but no, Stackhouse was pretty solid all the way around. He's actually doing a great job coaching. I think he's coaching like a D-League team, so he's doing a good job of developing players. What?
For this game, he's going to develop Tracy McGrady.
Yeah, so you say. But you know what? I'm thinking we do need some more athleticism. Like I said, at the guard spot, somebody who was very underrated with the Pistons, who had a couple of stints with Detroit, Tayshaun Prince.
Tayshaun Prince. So I was just passed a note, and Adam said he was wondering when Jerry Stackhouse was going to get picked, and he also asked who was your coach. So let's do a quick breakdown of everyone. Eric, do you have a list of your players?
I do.
Why don't you go through your roster? I'll go through mine, and we each have 2 picks left. So, ladies first. Eric, you're first.
Ooh. All right. So you got jokes, huh? All right. So we've got Larry Brown as my coach and Doug Collins as my assistant coach. We have Chauncey Billups, Grant Hill, Rasheed Wallace, Ben Wallace, Dave Bing. Then coming off the bench, I've got Rip Hamilton, Bill Laimbeer, Allen Houston, Chris Middleton, Tracy McGrady, and Tayshaun Prince.
So that's the silver medal team.
You've lost your mind.
The gold medal team, head coach Chuck Daly, assistant coach Rick Carlisle, Isaiah Thomas and Allen Iverson in the backcourt, Dennis Rodman, Bob Lanier, and Dave DeBusschere in the front court. Coming off the bench, my 6th man, Joe Dumars, Kelly Tripucka, Vinnie Johnson, Derrick Rose, Andre Drummond, Jerry Stackhouse. Now to start my last 2, my next guy, got to go with a big. This guy had range for days. I remember seeing him in the – I don't remember what year. He hit like 16 straight three-pointers. And fact check me on this. We're gonna double check that. It may have been more. It wouldn't have been less. But Mr. Terry Mills.
Very good. Very good. I was thinking about 3 Mills too. Yeah, that's a very solid, a very strong pick. So my next pick, I'm trying to figure out which direction I want to go. Thinking, I'm thinking, I'm thinking big. Thinking big too. If I want to go ahead and match your team, I'm thinking big. Chris Webber.
That's a very, very good pick.
Did you forget about C-Web?
Honestly, I did. I cannot tell a lie.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I cannot tell a lie. I totally forgot about Chris Webber playing with the Pistons. But I remember he made his announcement. He was in the stands. He was a free agent. He had just got cut by whoever he was cut by. And they was like, hey, the reporter went up to him, was like, hey, have you thought about where you're going to play? He was like, yeah. He was like, I'm coming home. So that was a great time. That was awesome. I totally forgot about Chris Webber. He's not going to make your team win, but that's a good pickup.
You got to do your homework.
Oh, touche. I have one Shay. That's good enough for me. So, yay. Hey, Shay. All right. My last
Shameless
pick.
plug. Shameless plug.
Yes. Daddy getting lucky tonight. All right. All right. My last pick. This is tough, man. This is tough because right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I got 9 players that are still on the board that I was interested in. This is very, very difficult. I can go a couple of different directions here. I'm thinking about the fact that if I go one direction, some of the basketball enthusiasts will know about this guy, and they won't be mad or scared to go my direction. But for some of the young heads, they're going to be like, who? And they might not do their homework. And I do have quite a few players on my team that are from that old school Detroit Piston, and yes, before my time. But I've looked at their stats and see what they've done. So I don't know what I want to do. So it's between old school and new school. Give me 1 second. I got to look at one thing real quick here. Good thing the timer is not started. Okay, so not him. Let me look at one last person. And then after we're done, I'm going to tell you the few people that I had left on my list.
Man, I have a bunch of folks that I'm like just ugh.
Oh,
but
yeah.
That's okay though. Go ahead and do your thing.
All right. So my last spot, Mr. Irrelevant, if you will, for my team, I'm going to go with – all right, I'm going to go with a big because I do have quite a few – oh, shit. All right, I'm going to go with a big.
Okay.
I'm going to go Tobias Harris.
You're going to go Tobias Harris?
I am.
Man, I am totally shocked, dude. I'm going Blake Griffin.
I really thought about Blake. He is on my list, but I don't know. I've never really been a Blake Griffin fan, to be honest with you.
Man, please. Now, when he was healthy last year, are you serious? Did you forget how Blake Griffin was just looking like all world?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just not a fan. So I don't know how many guys, if you have any on your list, but let me tell you the 2, 4, 6, 7 guys that's left on my list that did not get drafted but had heavy consideration.
Okay.
Lindsey Hunter.
Yeah, I thought about Lindsey.
John Long.
Thought about John Long.
Spencer Dinwiddie.
Okay. Oh, so you thought I was going to take Spencer?
I did. At one point, I did think you was going to take Spencer. When you were talking about Chris Middleton, I thought you were thinking of Spencer.
Well, I was thinking about both of them, but I always thought that Middleton was a little better than Spencer Dinwiddie. Plus, that mustache he got is weird.
Corliss Williamson.
Yeah, thought about him, 6 man.
Sean Elliott.
Oh, damn. I couldn't stand Sean Elliott because he didn't start balling until he got back to San Antonio.
Right. That's true. Antonio McDyess.
Mm-hmm.
And Mehmet Okur. So those are the 7 that's left in my pool that was not drafted. And you had 2 players on your – I don't know if you remember, but I said I had 5 extra players. So you had 2 players that you took that was not on my list at all. One I forgot and one I just wasn't interested in. That was Chris Middleton and Chris Webber. But Chris Webber was a hell of a pick, though.
What about Christian Laettner?
He did not make my list at all.
He did?
No. If we were somebody's college career, then yes. But no, nope, I'll pass.
What about Mike James? He was with Lindsey Hunter when the Pistons won that last championship.
He was
coming off the bench.
Chucky Atkins.
Yes.
So there's definitely a lot of names out there, still or whatever. That's good. So real quick, let's do one final recap. We will get this on our page, and we need people to tell us who has the advantage. Adam, if you're still out there, if you want to chime in now, our handy-dandy assistant and with her fine self is looking at the page. So she may be able to get a answer if anyone's out there listening right now. So, Eric, you want to start the honor, sir?
Yeah, absolutely. And I've got one thing to ask of Adam. Who would you say is the crackhead pick? Like the have you lost your damn mind pick. I'm interested to find out Adam's take. So my recap, we're going to start at the bottom. So we have Blake Griffin, Chris Webber, Tayshaun Prince, Tracy McGrady, Chris Middleton, Allen Houston, Bill Laimbeer, Rip Hamilton. My starters, Dave Bing, Ben Wallace, Rasheed Wallace, Grant Hill, and Chauncey Billups.
And coach?
Dave Bing. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Me. Dave Collins.
That would be Doug Collins. That'd be Doug Collins.
Well, I guess I must be on crack. So it's Doug Collins and Larry Brown.
All right. So my picks. Give me a second. I'm being passed a note. So Adam first off said he forgot Chris Webb too. Wow. And he said, how about Adrian Dantley or Mark Aguirre? They were considered, but they didn't make my list. And he then said, crackhead pick is coming. And then he said, both of you are crackheads for not picking either Aguirre or Dantley. So we have joint crackhead pipes, sir. Congratulations.
Okay, no problem. So Aguirre and AD, they're both in the D League right now. They're still trying to develop. I'm just kidding, Adam.
So that was your team. I'll start with my bench players like you did. Tobias Harris, Terry Mills, Jerry Stackhouse, Andre Drummond, Derrick Rose, MVP Derrick Rose, keep in mind, not, my ankle, my knee, my butt, whatever. Vinnie Johnson, Kelly Tripucka, Joe Dumars. My starting lineup, Dave DeBusschere, Dennis Rodman, Bob Lanier, Allen Iverson, Isaiah Thomas, assistant head coach, Rick Carlisle, head coach, Chuck Daly. So just for shiggles, let's do the matchup here. Point guard versus point guard, Isaiah Thomas versus Chauncey Billups. We've heard this a million times. That's a tough one. I love both guys easily. I do, not because it's my team. I do give a slight advantage to Isaiah. Who do you give it to, Eric?
You know what? I would too, but you can't discount Chauncey.
Not at all.
You can't discount him. So Chauncey's the type of guy, he sees somebody like an Isaiah, he's not going to say much, but Chauncey Billups is very competitive.
Yep.
So I think that any time that he went up against another guard who was considered elite, Chauncey stepped his game up.
Mm-hmm. Except for one, there's one guard that had his number, and no matter who this guy played with, I always saw Chauncey come up on the short end, and I hated it. And that was Stephon Marbury. Marbury owned Chauncey. If you look at head to head,
who didn't Stephon Marbury?
That's true. That's true.
That's another him and Steve Francis. Those two cats, man. If they just could have kept their heads on straight and avoided injuries, those two cats potentially could have been top 74 players of all time.
Easily, yeah. Now, two guard, Allen Iverson versus Dave Bing.
Well, you're going to have to go with AI, but you had to have seen Dave Bing play to understand what type of game he had. Dave Bing, he could hit you with the J. Keep in mind, this was before the three-point shot. Dave Bing, could post you up. Now, AI, love AI, but if Dave Bing, like he did with a lot of other guards, because Dave Bing was like 6'5". Dave Bing could take you in the post. He hit you with that mid-J. He was deceptively quick. But, yeah, we still have to give it to AI because I could see him breaking Dave Bing's ankles.
All right, I have to agree. At the 3, we got Grant Hill versus Dave DeBusschere.
I have to give that. To me. I have to give it to Grant Hill.
I would agree with that. I'm okay with that. I'll throw you a bone.
Correct me if I'm wrong though. Was Grant Hill in that top 74 from ESPN?
I don't think he was. He was one of those guys in one of our episodes we talked about woulda, coulda, shoulda. His injuries. He just was plagued by injuries, and he just wasn't the same.
But yet Bill Walton was. Okay.
But Bill Walton was, yeah. All right, so at the 4, we got Rasheed Wallace versus Dennis Rodman.
Man, I would pay money for that matchup.
Heck yeah. That's the highlight matchup.
Man, you know what? I would still have to go with Sheed, though, because Sheed could take you anywhere on the floor. He could drive past you. He could post you up. He could hit you with the J.
You think he's going to do that to Dennis Rodman? I'm not saying he's not going to get off. He's definitely going to get his. But you think Dennis Rodman going to let all that happen?
Do you think Rasheed Wallace is going to let Dennis Rodman be Dennis Rodman? Hell, Rasheed Wallace and Dennis Rodman are kind of like the same person.
I think Dennis Rodman will get in Rasheed's head before Rasheed get in Dennis Rodman's head. Dennis Rodman will put his thumb up his ass.
And then Rasheed would take that same thumb and stick it up his. See, we could sit here and debate this all day. That could be a conversation in itself. I'm thinking that Rasheed is going to have the edge because of what he can do offensively. Now, remember, Rasheed Wallace is a hell of a defender, too.
But, gee, that's neither here nor there because he's not going to really have to defend Dennis Rodman very much. Dennis Rodman going to get putbacks. He's going to get out on fast break. He's going to get that stuff. He's not going to make his own shot like Rasheed would. I'm not saying Rasheed is, an offensive guru, but offensively, yes, Rasheed has the better offensive game by far than Dennis Rodman. But I do believe Dennis Rodman is a better defender than Rasheed Wallace. So I personally would have to give the edge to Dennis Rodman. So let's see what the council and everyone else has to say about that. And finally, we will. So we got 2 my way, 1 your way, and 1 draw. Ben Wallace versus Bob Lanier.
Bob Lanier was a force offensively and defensively, but Ben Wallace can guard 3-4 positions. Ben Wallace athleticism. I think he'll tire the big man out. But then again, Bob Lanier was clutch, when it came to throwing the ball in the post. Because both of them are about the same size. No, actually, Bob Lanier's like 6'10". Ben Wallace is maybe 6'8".
6'9".
6'9".
Yeah.
Both of those guys. Yeah. Both of those guys are bulls. Might have to give the edge to Bob Lanier, but at any point, Ben Wallace could shut anybody down one-on-one. Now, maybe with the exception of Shaq or Yao Ming, because you need help with them 2 big groups.
So Ben Wallace was listed as 6'9", and Lanier was listed as 6'11". Personally, If I were you, if I was Larry Brown, I was your coach, I probably would take Ben Wallace and put him on Rodman and let Rasheed guard Bob Lanier. Personally, that's what I would probably do.
2 non-scorers?
Exactly. Yep, that's exactly what I would do.
So you're definitely asking, or maybe I should take Bill Laimbeer and put Bill Laimbeer on Bob Lanier.
Well, so now you're going to start Bill Laimbeer and bench Ben Wallace?
Why not?
Oh, no, I definitely, would agree with that. But if I'm Ben, I'm like, you drafted me before that man.
But you're the 6th man of the year now, Ben.
And then Rip Hamilton is going to be like, what happened to me? I thought I was the 6th man. When you drafted me, you said I was going to be the 6th man. So you got a dysfunctional team.
I'm Larry Brown. I'm Larry Brown. Shut up, everybody.
You made too many promises.
I'm Larry Brown. Shut up, everybody.
As far as that last matchup, I would give it to Bob Lanier. I'm about to say something that either is going to give me the crackhead of the night, or Adam might be like, you know what? You got a point. Ben Wallace was not as impressive as many people make him sound. Here's why I say that. A lot of, as the crowd becomes silent, a lot of Ben Wallace's rebounds came uncontested. People weren't fighting him over the rebound. So that's kind of somewhat padded. And a lot of players do that. So I'm not mad about that. But Dennis Rodman, not because he's on my team, Dennis Rodman and Bill Laimbeer and Rick Mahorn, those guys, they all wanted the ball. It was a bone, and they were all vicious dogs getting over it. Hell, they might have fought each other more than they fought the opponents to get a rebound. Ben Wallace, it was almost like an unwritten rule. Back up, Ben's got the rebound. So his numbers are a bit inflated, in my opinion. When it comes to blocks, and the last thing I'll say, when it comes to blocks, most of his blocks, a large majority of his blocks came from help side defense. Not taking nothing away from Big Ben, but help side defense. It's not like he was really locking someone down one-on-one and blocking their shot one-on-one playing defense. He came over helping and getting a block. So was he as strong defensively as a Dennis Rodman who was locking people straight up down? I say no.
All right. So, and I'm just curious about that. So Ben Wallace, 4-time Defensive Player of the Year, 1, 2, 3, 4 All-Star appearances. Now, how can you say so? In other words, for 4 consecutive years, he just got lucky playing weak side defense, and for 4 years on a championship team, everybody was like, "Well, we'll just box out and let Ben get the rebound."
Yes, you got it.
So
I'm glad we're on the same page.
So he's got to be the luckiest person on the face of the earth.
But see, I don't think it's luck.
So
I think
so nobody was playing defense.
I think this is just what we're going. No, I'm not saying no one's playing defense. That was a hell of a defensive team on the Pistons the years he played with them. That was a hell of Tayshaun played a really great defense. Rip, Chauncey, the whole starting 5, they all had played great defense. But I'm saying that his numbers are slightly inflated because he wasn't really – no one was really going for rebounds like he was. That was his thing. That was the thing that he did well. And you know what? You and I can get the same amount of rebounds that he was getting if the whole team said, let James and Eric get the rebounds.
Okay. I disagree. I think that Ben Wallace was an intricate part. I mean, team defense. What can you say? They followed the concept of team defense, and Ben just happened to be the recipient. And not only that, but the league recognized him as a 4-time Defensive Player of the Year. But he just got lucky for like 4 years. It's almost like number 45 getting lucky for 4 years, right?
Well, he did. But, well, that too we'll agree to disagree. I may get the crackhead of the night for saying that. It's okay. I've said it before. I've been the crackhead of the night before. That's all right. But, man, this was fun. I definitely appreciate it. It was a late night recording. So, everyone that tuned in, thank you. Eric, it was always a pleasure, sir. And we will definitely look to do this all over again on Thursday, just this time with the entire NBA up for grabs. So we will get this posted on our page, and please vote which team is going to win, who has the better team. I can't wait to see it. Yeah, not yours. Pick the guy with the view.
Oh, I could show you a view.
No, please. Oh, I hope you're wearing pants today. All right, guys, it's been fun. We are out. It's been from our mouths to your ears. James and Eric, we're out. Thanks, Eric.
Stay safe, America.
Yeah, definitely stay safe. Watch out for the police.